everyone, Maggie Yu MD here, functional and holistic medicine and physician, and owner of Transform and Foodie MD. Today actually is something that we've been talking about in the Facebook group for probably about 2 weeks. We asked the question of what some of your biggest holiday obstacles of eating and cooking was for you and your family. And today I actually, there's so many comments, and it seems like holidays for a lot of people is just filled with trauma, worry, fear around food. And I really want to share my love of cooking and my love for functional medicine education and put it together into a cooking live today for all of you. And what I want to do is I actually want to take one of the dishes that you guys, that we think about with Thanksgiving a lot, and kind of really do a total revamp of it, a 180 revamp of it. That's really based on healing with food and fun in the kitchen. So today what I would love to do is that I think about a lot of you, and some people have talked about a Thanksgiving holiday tradition for a lot of people is like the sweet potato or yam casserole. And when you think about that, it's, pretty much people are using yams instead of sweet potato. It's filled with sugar, you name it, sometimes bourbon, marshmallows, and fat and different things. And, there's a lot of, it's a classic comfort dish, right? We think about it's a sweet, it's starchy, and it's a great pairing with turkey or other main dishes, prime rib, whatever your holiday meat is, right? But today what I want to do is I want to do a completely different take with that. And I really want to share my tray bake. And I'm going to take my time actually to show you guys exactly why some of these ingredients in there, how to play with this. Tray bakes is an incredible holiday prep item to cook as a side dish. And it is incredibly versatile. And as you can see, as I go through, so how I make my tray bake, you guys can actually see why it's something that you don't have to save for the holidays. It's something you can do anytime. Can you let me know where you're watching from? I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. And those of you who are not watching in the Facebook group when this replays later, you can join our Facebook group at Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally. We're also on YouTube, and I love to cook and I love to teach. We have a program called Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally, and absolutely part of the program is Foodie MD here, really sharing my recipes, my love of cooking, and the frickin' science behind it all on why, from a functional medicine basis, these foods are really gonna kick ass in helping your body heal. All right, everybody. First of all, what is a tray bake? A tray bake is a bake of either vegetables or starchy root vegetables. It's really versatile. If you think about just roasting potatoes, that is a tray bake, okay? But how can you take roasted potatoes or roasted sweet potatoes and literally blow the lid of it? And why the hell do you even want to do that is what we're going to talk about today. So I'm just going to go over some ingredients here. It's not hard, guys, all right? I got a bunch of ingredients here. And what I really want to talk about is that there's a big variety, right? Variety is key. Eating the same thing every single time really doesn't help. Like eating the same thing every single time really decreases the nutrient diversity in your diet, number one. And number two is that you're missing out on some really awesome phytonutrients. Phytonutrients, think about it as colors of the rainbow that fight for you. So whenever I make a dish, I make any excuse to put as many colors of the rainbow in fruit and vegetables in it as possible, because that's how you kick ass in healing, is increasing the diversity of phytonutrients in your food. And we can do that with a tray bake. And a lot of alumni are starting to watch. If you're an alumni, if you can let me know you're watching, and let me know if you're an alumni, if you've tried tray bake. It's one of the things I love to talk about in the program, and tell me how you've incorporated tray bakes into your everyday, all right? So I'm just gonna actually talk right here about, instead of potato, potato has a lot of nutrient value, right? But it's interesting, what we find is that sweet potato is actually in some ways a superior, or sometimes sweet potato is sometimes superior, and in some ways surprisingly healthier in some ways, because, for example, did you know that the glycemic index of sweet potato is actually really low? And even when you compare it to other root vegetables, you compare it to yams, you can compare potatoes, it's actually very low in glycemic index, even though it's called sweet potato. This is also why a lot of people actually recommend sweet potato for use for diabetics as a better option than potato, white rice, starches, right? But it is delicious, all right? So sweet potato is very different than yams, and I'm gonna look at how different they look. And yet in the supermarket, they're gonna label these yams as sweet potato. I went to QFC Market earlier today and they labeled this as sweet potato. It is a yam, and it's red, and it has a label on it that says garnet. So garnet yams are not sweet potato. In fact, they're very different plant families. Sweet potato comes from, why am I blanking out? Which family does it come from? Oh, morning glory family, thank you. Okay, yeah, sweet potato comes from the morning glory family. Sweet potato actually comes from the lily family. Did you know that? Actually, a tuber from a lily family plant. So nutritionally, yams are way inferior to sweet potato. So one of the first things you can do in remaking that anything with sweet potato, like your sweet potato casserole, is substitute actual real sweet potato instead of the yam. Was that a mind blow hack right there? Okay. And I actually, I do use both. And if you enjoy yams, you can certainly use some yams, but I'm going to tell you, don't miss the sweet potato. And I'm just going to go ahead and start peeling a little bit of the sweet potato. And when you peel sweet potato right here, I'm just going to show you guys. Sorry, my kitchen is a mess, but this is real life, okay? I'm just going to peel the sweet potato, and if you actually look at peeling the sweet potato, it's not orange like the yams are. Yams are incredibly dark, fleshy orange, okay? And yet, when you look at the sweet potato, even though it's not bright orange, it's really packed full of vitamin A. We tend to think that only orange vegetables are filled with vitamin A. So yeah, obviously you think carrots are going to be linked with vitamin A, right? Because it's really orange. But did you know sweet potato is also packed with vitamin A? You don't have to be orange to actually be packed full of vitamin A. And why is vitamin A really important? Well, I think this is why, for me, I'm just going to cut these, and it's really important when you do trade breaks to make things in equal size. And so I'm looking at, I think the sizing is probably about that big, yay big. I hate measuring stuff. Sweet potatoes kind of taste like yams, but they got a little bit of a firmer texture, and they taste a little bit less sweet. Vitamin A. Why is vitamin A so important? It's a huge part of we have vitamin A in the store, but we also have vitamin A as part of our anti-cold flu regimen in our Virus Sure pack. Why is vitamin A so freaking important? Is that it is really helpful in leaky gut. Because it helps mucus cells heal their lining, and mucus cells are the same as what's in the ear, nose, and throat. Okay, so that's why vitamin A is really great for cold and flu prevention and treatment. And then number 2, it's incredible for leaky gut. And it's an incredible vitamin that's really helpful to help your body detox. There's many roles with which vitamin A helps detox, and it's also an antioxidant, so it can have anti-cancer properties. So I love stuff that actually gives you a ton of vitamin A. So don't just be stuck on, it doesn't have to be just a carrot, guys. And while I like carrots, I think that, there are many other ways. So sweet potato is the other way to go. I'm just chopping some up. And I'm showing you guys, I'm just talking and teaching as I go through this, because I can show you that this is not hard. This is not rocket science. This is not hard. This is something that you can do during the holidays with your kids, and even when you have guests over, you can be sitting here chopping vegetables, right? And so this is sweet potato. This is just one of them. And if you really love yams and you want to try some yams in it, feel free to go ahead and add yams in it too. So I'm just putting these together in here, okay? Some sweet potato. Now, garlic, okay? And you can buy fresh garlic. I buy these are the organic Christopher Ranch ones that I get from Costco, and I put it in the freezer as a bag, so I just pull it as I need to use it. So I always have fresh garlic. And garlic, guys, I mean, I'm just gonna tell you guys, garlic, there's 1,000 reasons why you should be on garlic. And garlic has alicillin in it. It has huge antimicrobial, antifungal properties. And so I actually use garlic as a supplement. And I eat a ton of garlic to actually help my body detox, but it also is antimicrobial. It helps maintain yeast, SIBO, any sort of candida, gut infections at bay by daily use of garlic. And in when I do a tray bake, I probably like to do it whole because I like the whole roasted garlic. And if you cut it too small, it might burn. So it's the whole sizing thing, which is I kind of want to keep everything in this tray bake around a similar size so they cook at a similar time. So I'm going to use them whole. But if you do want, but you're not going to be wrong if you want to put them in slices or you want to chop them up really small as more of a flavoring in around it. That's okay. They'll just get brown. They'll just get a little more brown and roasted, which is also fine. So have fun. Go ahead. And it's okay to go ahead and use garlic in any way that you want. Now, check out onion. Onion, guys, is amazing. Onion is one of the sulfur-containing vegetables, and sulfur actually is really important in what we call phase 2 detoxification of the liver. So eating onions actually helps your body get rid of toxins, okay? And the other thing is, onion is also a prebiotic. Prebiotic feeds the good bacteria in your gut so that they grow and increase in numbers. So eat your onions, right? And this is an organic sweet onion. Root vegetables, I tend to buy organic because root vegetables, things closer to the ground, tend to absorb more pesticide. So these are organic sweet onions, and I cut them into some chunks here, not small, because again, I want to keep things similar size. And I'm just going to dump it in. Okay? So onion. Now, okay, let's talk a little weird or out of the box for some of you, okay? I know I added some carrot and I already talked about carrot, but my gosh, let's talk about beet here, okay? Beets, okay? Buy beets, first of all, buy beets in the whole stalk. Why do I buy beets in the whole stalk is because beet is the most powerful food that you can do, eat or drink the juice of to actually help bile flow from your gallbladder into your intestines. Bile is an important way that your gut actually, it's conjugation. It binds certain toxins and carries it out of your body. So some of you with gallbladder problems, you should actually eat a ton of beet or drink beet juice or saute beet greens. So don't just like buy pre-cooked, like you could get them like raw like this. And guys, they come in different colors. Do you know there are purple beets, red beets, there are yellow beets. These are golden, they're called golden beets. So they come in many different colors. And the different colors actually provide different levels of phytonutrients and different kinds, okay? Just like, do you know there's sweet sweet potato that's purple? And the purple sweet potato actually contains a lot of purple phytonutrients that's really great for the brain. So yeah, it's not just regular sweet potato, there's purple sweet potato. So if you can find vegetables that are purple, it's really great for your brain. So I use the greens for beets. I saute them and eat them. But for those of you that do juice, I juice these greens as well as a big gallbladder liver detox juice a couple times a week, all right? But anyway, beets, all right? Beets are wonderful roasted. And when they're roasted, they actually really, their sweetness, beets are actually really sweet, by the way. Do you know that most of the sugar, when you buy sugar, in the US, they're made from beets. And so it's beet sugar. So beet is actually very high in sugar, but the thing that's amazing about it, you're like, oh, isn't it a sugar bomb? It's not, because of the high amount of fiber. Okay, beets, when you eat beets, they're very incredibly high, rich source of fiber and phytonutrient with all these colors. So I just take the beet, and you can peel it if you like. I don't need to. I find that I just scrub it. So look, this is one I peeled. You can peel it if you don't like it. I was a little lazy on this one. You can peel it a little more if you want. But I don't have to peel it. If you want it super smooth, you can. Like if you don't like the little bit of the rough texture of the outside, you can absolutely peel it like this before you cut it. So there's two ways which you go about it, but I don't tend to mind because I find that once beet is roasted, the outer coating is totally fine. So both options are totally available. And beets are also really high in vitamin C. Vitamin C, you guys already know, is really amazing as an antioxidant for cancer. It's really helped your liver actually detox. Vitamin C is incredible for the respiratory system. Okay, beets also contain something specific called beta-alanes, which is a phytonutrient that actually also is really anti-inflammatory. Okay, so those are some beets right there. I'm just gonna chop it. Is this too much for you guys? Let me know. Is this just the right amount of information, or is this too much information? I'd love some feedback. That'd be great. Amy says she grows the purple colored ones. Yeah, so you got extra brain phytonutrients on those. This one just doesn't have the skin on it, so if you don't like the skin, you can totally peel it like that, no problem, easy peasy, versatile, okay? Okay. Okay, great. Okay, now I want to teach you guys something about radish. Okay, radish. I feel like radish gets a bad rap, okay? I actually love radish for two specific reasons. First of all, I like it. So I'll just eat radish. I really love radish raw. I think it's underrated. Really simple way to eat radish is literally just sprinkle a little bit of salt. If you like smoked salt, is really good on it, or truffle salt. So I love eating radish raw. Now, I also hate talking in my mouth full, but I always do. So just slicing up radish and eating it, it's actually a really great dip for hummus. So a lot of us are gluten-free. We don't use bread. And I find that using slices of radish to actually use in dips, it's really great as a bread substitute, and it's firm. And I actually like the taste quite a bit. Now, some of you notice that there's a little bite to radish, and if you don't like that, roasting radish is incredible. That's why it's part of my tray bake. Now, that being said, radish is surprisingly very high. Does anyone know what nutrient is really high in? Iron. So the reason that I love radishes is that it's one of those vegetables that is surprisingly high in iron, and iron is necessary for all your energy making in your cells. And iron is a crucial piece of what we call P450 enzymes in your liver. So that's the first part of detoxification that we call phase 1 detoxification. And a lot of those enzymes require an iron molecule to work. So what is a great way? You don't have to just eat meat to get a lot of iron. I use an iron skillet to cook in a lot, but radish, okay? So definitely dump some radish in there. Radish also has some properties, which it's very high fiber. So I absolutely love the amount of fiber in radish, whether it's cooked or raw, okay? So just dropping up a couple more radishes. Here you go. Iron, okay. Now, what I want to point out is a couple of unique things, all right? So even though we find this stuff in the grocery store, I don't see people buying this and they don't know what the hell to do with it. And what I really want to talk about is parsley is related to carrots, and it has a sweet and nutty flavor, okay? It's really high in vitamin C, which we already know it actually prevents your cell from DNA damage. And the other thing is that it is absolutely one of those vegetables that's extremely high in what we call soluble and insoluble fiber, okay? Fiber is what your gut bacteria actually needs to ferment, to make a lot of things that help your body detoxify, okay? And fiber, insoluble fiber, provides the bulk that carries your poop out. So it's really helpful to actually for movement, okay? Got a little thick. So parsnip, don't forget that. And just think of it as a nutty, less sweet carrot that has incredible immune and anti-inflammatory boosting, tons of vitamin C in it, tons of plant fiber in it. It's just fun, okay? So don't just buy regular old carrots and call it good. I'd say experiment with a little parsnip. And here's the other thing is when you buy carrots, do you know there's gold carrots and there's purple carrots, you know? Like buy different colors in your carrots to increase the phytonutrient property. Okay, and then now some unusual things. Anyone know what this is? Does anyone know what this is? Calling all you people watching, and parsnip, Kathy just said you can put it into soup. Absolutely, I put parsnip into soup all the time. Stores really well in your refrigerator. Why not just have it all the way around? Anyone know what this is? Anyone? Bueller? 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 Gosh, it smells so good. This is fennel. Yes, Kathy, you're right. Fennel, okay? And I freaking love fennel. Fennel has a mild licorice flavor. It's not licorice, but it has a very mild licorice flavor. And so what I do is I take it raw like this, and I literally just will slice the bulb like literally, like take really thin slices like this, even thinner, and just slice it into a salad. And it gives you this really nice crunch, almost apple with slight licorice flavor. And it's incredible raw in a salad. So if you want to zhuzh up your salad game, I mean, fennel is the way to go. And I don't use the top part, I just use this bottom. Let me show you how I slice it and then as I talk about it. So you could I slice the bottom off. Okay, and I just go. This is how I would do it if I was to do a salad, is I would cut it that thin. Because I'm doing a tray bake today, I'm gonna do it in some chunks, okay? So I'll do it into chunks like that for the tray bake, okay? Right into the tray bake, and I'll just put it in. And fennel is really awesome because you know why? It has some antimicrobial activities, okay? Fennel can be used as an antimicrobial, and you can actually see, like if you look at fennel seeds and fennel plants, it's a digestive. It really helps your digestion to digest food. It's highly absorbable. It helps with gut healing. And it's also antimicrobial, so we can actually use it as an herb to kill bacteria or fungus. So that's another thing that you can put in is fennel, all right? And then, and I'm not telling you guys you have to put all this stuff in. I'm telling you, like, check out what's in your fridge or check out what's fresh at your market. But this is a variety of root vegetables that I just found at my market literally 30 minutes ago that I was like, oh, that'll be fun. And if you smell it, it's like so fresh, right? Okay. So a couple things, which is what are some other options you can put in there? You absolutely can chop up some bell peppers. Bell peppers come in purple, comes in red, comes in green, comes in orange. Use all the different colors. Please use every color. And don't be shy just because something's a different color. In fact, if it's a different color, buy it. Is this helpful? I mean, is this learning about some of these foods and the variety? And I mean, how many of you have learned something new about vegetables that you wouldn't normally use, like parsnip or radish or a fennel? I'm just curious, is this helpful? And have you learned something new about a vegetable you wouldn't normally use? You can comment in the comment section. That'd be much appreciated. Kathy said, never make a dish the same way, haha. Okay, Amy says, what about turnips? I use turnips all the time. They didn't have it at the market, but turnip is another great root vegetable. Oh my gosh, it's turnip, radish, I think about, and beet are incredible liver-loving root vegetables. So I eat something from that family at least a couple times a week, whether it's in soup or roasted like this in a tray bake, to help my liver. You know, liver is a really important part of making hormones. It's an important part of helping enzymes in your liver that break down toxins. So it's incredibly crucial. All right, so this is good? All right, great. Okay, so I want to talk about parsley. Okay, I really think you cannot have enough parsley or cilantro. If you're not allergic to parsley or cilantro, my God, please, 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 please eat a shit ton of it, okay? Did you know that one of the highest concentration of vitamin A is actually parsley? So parsley is incredible, and like one cup, I'm not talking much, 1 cup is not very much of vitamin of parsley, but 1 cup has like an incredible amount of vitamin A. So parsley is also an incredible digestive. It actually helps your body digest food and it's delicious, okay? So I use it in juicing. I'll juice my beet greens with parsley to help with the liver, but I also cook with a ton of it. And I think when I think about parsley, and you could, if you like it cooked in it, you can. If you like it more toss in at the very end, that's okay too. I think that cooked or raw, I think that there's a lot of benefits to parsley. You gotta take the stem off parsley, so I just removed the stem right there. Okay, and then I give it a little bit of a rough chop. As you can tell, I'm one of those that don't measure, and I have fun with it. And as I cook, I'm talking to family and friends or being on Facebook Live. So this doesn't have to be difficult, but it's just really aromatic to have, and this is Italian parsley versus curly parsley. I never use curly parsley because it doesn't taste good. Italian parsley is definitely the way to go. Now, here's the other thing is that I will also do cilantro sometimes. I happen to love cilantro. So there isn't a day go by I don't eat cilantro. So if you love cilantro, I would use cilantro in here. Why cilantro is amazing is cilantro is one of the best chelators. As far from the plant kingdom. So what's really great at chelators help gets rid of heavy metals from your body. So I love using cilantro. I'll juice it. I'll put it into, I'll put it raw into everything, and I'll also cook it also too, and I throw it into every soup. But think about Italian parsley and think about cilantro. You can't go wrong. Okay. So I know this is a lot of information. You could put literally 1/3 of what I talked about into here and have a tray bake. You don't have to have a gazillion things, okay? I wanted to give you guys a variety, and also I want you guys to see how beautiful things really are, right? When you have color in here, it's a really fun dish. We're not talking like a one-trick pony here. We're talking like a rainbow colored dish that's really beautiful and delicious to eat. Now, what about herbs and spices and oils? So this is just rosemary from my garden, okay? So I think everyone should have a rosemary plant. Rosemary is an incredible plant. It has anti-aging properties. It's incredible liver detox. It's also another herb that really helps with bile. And it actually has a specific chemical called carnosic acid, and carnosic acid is really incredible for protecting the brain. Now, some of you are TBI, some of you are dealing with brain fog and neurodegenerative disorders. Lots of rosemary. It's going to be really good for the brain, along with those purple phytonutrients, all right? And I'll take the herbs. Rosemary's best going upside down like that, okay? So if you just pull it like that against the grain, you're gonna have tons of rosemary freed at last, those guys. And I always think it's always really good to give herbs a little bit of a rough chop. It really does release the aromas in it, okay? So man, ooh, that smells so good. All right, and then I basically will put it in here. Okay, some rosemary. I think rosemary is really awesome in there. Okay, now fat. What fat do you wanna put in your tray bake? So you want, if you're baking, we're talking temperature right now, my oven's about 420, roasting vegetables, we're talking about 425, 450 would be more roasting temperature, anywhere from 400 to 450. But you also want oils that can roast. So the searing temperature, the smoke point of fats are going to be really important to consider. So I tend to, when I'm roasting things at higher temperatures, over 400, we're at 425 today, is use high oils that are quality, that have a higher smoke point. So MCT oil, this is Pro MCT. This is ours with a high level C8. Pro MCT is really amazing because the high level C8 is caprylic acid. Caprylic acid is incredibly antifungal. So not only are you using food to help your body, but you're also helping antimicrobial by using an MCT like Pro MCT that has very high levels of C8. Now there are other options, and if you actually look, take a quick look, putting the fat in, it's a flavorless oil and it's clear. Okay, so I use this for baking, for actually browning meats or something, and I use it for salads as well. So you get all the health benefits, but because it is high C8, it's antimicrobial as well. So I put Pro MCT in here. That's possibly one oil that you can use, but let me give you a couple other options, okay? So I actually really like avocado oil, okay? I know Costco has one that's straight avocado oil, and I believe it's organic. Avocado oil also has a high smoke point. This one is a blend. This one is sunflower oil and avocado oil because I ran out of the Costco one. But either way, sunflower oil has a pretty decent smoke point as well. So I like avocado oil. I like to do Pro MCT oil. And then if you're gonna use olive oil, I just want you guys to know is extra virgin olive oil is low smoke point. So it's great raw, okay, for salads. Don't really cook with extra virgin olive oil. It's kind of a waste because you destroy a lot of the really good properties in it. If you are gonna cook with higher temperature and you wanna use olive oil, I would use a non-extra virgin olive oil. So regular olive oil is great for cooking, okay? Whereas if you're truly gonna get a quality extra virgin oil and you want all the health benefits for it and you don't want it to burn, don't use extra virgin in high heat cooking, okay? All right, so I'm just gonna go over, right now I just put the oil in there. I know I'm taking a lot of time here, but I really wanted to teach some stuff. Is that cool with you guys? All right. I want to talk herbs and spices because I love herbs and spices, right? There's a lot of medicinal uses to herbs and spices. Sorry, it's a little messy. Real kitchen, real Foodie MD, real kitchen. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about herbs and spices because it's in herbs and spices that we actually get a lot of medicinal properties, okay? If you actually look at cumin, for example, you know, I use this all the freaking time. And curcumin, which it literally for autoimmune disease, everybody's got to be on a really high dose of curcumin. And so you can eat it in food. And the thing is, not everything has to be taken as a supplement. Why are we not doing this with food? And so how we do this with food is that, you know, literally, I love putting cumin. I will put cumin into the tray bake because I really like the flavor. But I'll put it into soups. I even put it into, you know, I'll make like quiches or even egg scrambles with cumin in it. Any excuse, I'm gonna use cumin. Marinating my meat or chicken, I'll always throw some cumin in. Why the hell not? And cumin is activated and absorbed a lot better with pepper. So I always add black pepper. I always use black pepper with the curcumin, okay? I want to talk about also cinnamon. You guys know I love cinnamon. I'll throw in a little bit of cinnamon wherever I can also because cinnamon lowers blood sugar. It helps with insulin resistance. And it helps with blood flow and circulation. So I'll always sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon in. Why not? And cayenne. Cayenne pepper or crushed red pepper flakes. Did you know that using crushed red pepper flakes or cayenne actually is really great for pain. And there's a variety of reasons for it. It's great for pain because it improves circulation. So when you bring blood to an area that hurts, you're actually clearing the area of inflammation factors. So herbs and spices that increase blood flow are going to be really great for pain. So this is why I love to use red pepper because the cayenne in it is really great to improve circulation. Cinnamon is another circulation herb, okay? What's also really cool is that we're talking about, cayenne. The other mechanism is really great for pain is cayenne is known to deplete what we call substance P in your nerve cells. So substance P is responsible for actually activating and interacting with your large pain nerve fibers. So which is why there are arthritis creams like Asper cream or different types of cream and capsaicin, not Asper cream, capsaicin. It's an over-the-counter cream. It has cayenne in it. Why would you rub cayenne on a cream on your hand or somewhere? It's because it actually depletes the substance P from your hand, those nerves. So it decreases actually the conduction of pain through those nerves. So yeah, did you know that? Yes, that's a mechanism. So I love to actually throw crushed red pepper flakes or cayenne pepper. I also have a big old container of it and I put it in everything. If you guys have seen some of my videos where I talk about making my coffee drinks or my cocoa drinks, I'm going to share with you guys in a couple weeks. We're going to have a hormone hack week in our group, and I'm going to share my latest recipe, which is believe it or not, sneak peek. I'm going to have a bone broth based hot chocolate. Sounds weird. It's incredible. But anyway, I love figuring out like things that have incredible medical benefits that taste freaking fantastic. So just so you guys know, I know it sounds fascinating and it sounds weird, but when I show you guys and when you taste it, you can thank me later. But anyway, one of the things that I do when I make my coffee or when I make my chicory coffee or some of my darker teas is when you make lattes, think about putting in cinnamon and cayenne pepper. Yeah, because then it really increases your circulation and it is anti-inflammatory, anti-pain. And think about that. A lot of Mexican, if you guys have been to Mexico, Mexican hot chocolate actually has cayenne and cinnamon on it, and I think they got it going on. So that's what I do, when I actually do my coffee drinks, I will throw in my cayenne and my cinnamon, seriously. And that's gonna be part of my bone broth hot chocolate. Sounds weird, but it's coming up. In a couple of weeks, I'm gonna share that recipe with you guys. I've been playing with that one. All right, so that being said, here is the deal. Let's go back to our tray bake. I know that's what it's all about. Personally, if it was me, I'd be digging my hands all over it because I love touching food. I literally love to actually touch and interact with my food. You know, like this is fun. So I will go in, and if you have kids, they can help mix food like this. This is fun. And look at how pretty it is. And then don't forget salt. I didn't put any salt in there, but put salt to your liking. I think that would be a great idea. Whatever you like. In this recipe, I probably would just throw in 2 teaspoons of salt, okay? Yeah, and Monica says mole. Yeah, so that's the other thing is I think we can learn something from a lot of ethnic cuisine, which is when you look at curries in India, lots of these spices. You're looking at clove, you're looking at coriander, you're looking at cumin. When you look at Mexican food, they're moles. I mean, a really good mole, some of those have like 40 ingredients, and there's some of them even have chocolate in it. But it's really common to actually have spices like cinnamon, cumin, cayenne, in Mexican mole as well. So around the world, many cultures use these herbs and spices to spruce up the flavor, but most importantly, it's them using food to heal their bodies through the centuries of tradition. And we're now just in the last 50 years in functional medicine and data backing that up to say, oh, that's why we use rosemary. Oh, beets really help with bile and really helps your liver. Now there's actually data to totally back this stuff up. So it's not like, I just feel your beet aura. I feel your rosemary and beet aura. No, grandma's right and tradition is right. And a lot of these cultures around the world in their use of herbs and spices and a variety of vegetables and color in their diet is why so many of these populations have very some of the rates of disease in certain populations are extremely low because their diet is so rich in these herbs and spices and varieties of vegetables. Okay, so food can be incredibly healing. Gabriella says, I'm Mexican and use a lot of these spices. Awesome. And there's so many. I mean, I just went through, Gabriella, I talked about fennel, using the fennel bulb here. And, you know, if you, a lot of ethnic cuisine will use fennel as well. So, you know, fennel seeds, ground fennel seeds is also very powerful and has the same benefits as fennel and additional benefits too. So think about ground fennel as an herb as well. So you can use the vegetable, the bulb, but you can also use the seed as an herb as well. So literally, the possibilities are endless. Okay. Jennifer says, I always use same spice. Definitely need to expand. Jennifer, I would challenge you to actually go into a spice store. In our area, I think there's a spice company called Posy or something like that, where you go in and it's like Spice Superstore and you can even buy it in small little bags. I mean, I would really recommend going and having fun. And if you're afraid of like using one new herb, they have blends. You can look at a blend that they have. And try some new spice blends. It's a hell of a lot of fun, and I really do enjoy using a lot of herbs. I mean, if you actually look in my kitchen, I have a bunch of rubs and spices. I recently discovered, let me see, you know, like there's a brand here of rubs that I recently, I've loved using. It's called Rub with Love. This is a chicken rub. This is exotic mushroom rub. If you're scared of using like a single herb and you want somebody else to have blended some blends for you, it's wonderful to actually buy some of these from good companies. I love Rub with Love. They're gluten-free. And like, you know, and they like this particular exotic mushroom rub has porcini mushroom powder, and I love porcini mushrooms. It's great to grind porcini mushroom up and use it as an herb in here, as a flavoring herb. So there's just, I mean, the possibility are endless with herbs, and I have so much fun with it. And, you know, even when you do cayenne pepper, you know, I have the American version of it, but my son loves Korean cooking, and I have a Korean version of cayenne from Korea that has a different flavor profile than the cayenne pepper that we have in the United States. So, and it's going to have different medicinal properties. So this is a hell of a lot of fun, and that's why I'm encouraging you guys to really have fun with cooking. And what I just went through to get this dish ready could easily be done. Let's say it was Thanksgiving Day and you have 20 people around. Why couldn't you be having fun, talking and interacting while you're preparing this? You totally can, right? So food doesn't have to be scary. Food is incredibly healing, delicious, colorful, right? And check out, I mean, all it is I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I have a tray here. And I don't need to grease it because these already have the oil on it, and just pour it over. That's why it's called a tray bake. Okay, so I just spread it into a thin layer. Okay, so they all cook evenly. Okay. And I did forget to salt these, so I'm gonna go ahead and just salt it right now. And I use sea salt. I don't use iodized salt. I use sea salt. And sea salt has some trace minerals that are really awesome. And then I'm gonna put it in the oven. I have a cat tree back there. All right, I'm gonna put it in the oven. I'm doing 425 degrees in the oven, and I will be cooking this tray bake for about I think about 30 minutes, but I think it's good around 25 minutes to check it. You want these vegetables to be roasted, so that when something's roasted, it's brown on the outside and inside is still tender and juicy. I like the idea of roasting because when you actually brown it on the outside, it caramelizes it. So the sugars on the outside is caramelized, so it actually seals in the flavor of all these vegetables. Now, when you take it out of the oven, I'm just going to let you guys know a couple things, which is when you take it out in the oven, you could definitely just put it into a beautiful plate and a casserole plate and just serve it. That's absolutely something you can do. But here's some fun things you can do with it. You can throw in some fresh parsley. You know, I love that, or cilantro. Number two is you can throw in nuts, okay? I love throwing some toasted hazelnuts or pistachios, hazelnuts. Toast it and throw it right on it before you serve it. The crunch of that is really cool. And nuts is an incredible way to get, actually get some really good omegas. Walnuts is an incredibly high source of omega-3s. So you can toast some walnuts or hazelnuts and throw it in there when you're done with it. Some people just even throw it in there right now and cook it with it. But I kind of like it crunchy, so I'll throw in some hazelnuts in there to dress it up. Can you, if you love butter, can you throw some additional butter or fat on it when you serve it? Absolutely. If you can eat butter and you want to toss some butter right before you eat it with some nuts in there, that's really great. I like personally to add a little tart. So if you want to splash a little bit of lemon juice on it or apple cider vinegar, you can totally do that just to brighten it up with the parsley. That's like a really good combination. But you can absolutely just take it straight out and put it straight on a plate and it's ready to rock and roll. You can also put grated cheese on it. If you like Parmesan cheese, you can eat dairy. You could put grated Parmesan cheese on top. If you cannot eat cow cheese, a really great substitute is Manchego cheese. Manchego cheese is a sheep's cheese. And I just use I have a grater here. And I buy Manchego straight from Costco in a block. People in my family can't eat cow dairy, but they can do sheep. So I just take that and I grate it right on it. You could just, right before you serve it, just put in some grated Manchego cheese on it. If you want to have cheese on it, you don't have to. But these are different ways that you can dress it up and have fun with it. Now, okay, is that a funner alternative, more healthy and healing than your regular old sweet potato casserole. Well, yes, for me it is, and I love doing that. And for me, tray bakes is such a big part of our program, and it is such a big part of stimulating your digestion, your gut healing, getting all the phytonutrients, anti-inflammatory, autoimmune balancing, hormone balancing. Tray bakes is like an all-in-one solution. That's great for the holidays, but man, I do this freaking every week. I make a tray bake at least once or twice a week, just so you guys know. Why? It holds, okay? I am a batch cooker, okay? Come on, I'm Foodie MD, Functional MD. I'm a mom, and I got 3 cats. I got a lot to do. So batch cooking is really big, and so for me, I will batch cook a tray bake twice a week, and once it's cooked, you can put it in a Ziploc bag. It holds for a week. It holds for a week. So in the morning, think about it. If you make scrambled eggs or if you have any sort of breakfast, the tray bake, you literally take a scoop and it warms in 15 seconds. You got a hash right there. Okay, you could throw eggs, you could eat sausage, you could just have a vegetarian egg with that, and you got a egg and tray bake hash next to it, which is a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I took my sweet, sweet time today to not just cook, but to actually teach you guys some stuff behind how I use food to actually heal my body and everybody's in the program as well. So it's about developing a new relationship with food once you understand and get educated in our program. And if you're interested in learning more about our program or you're ready to do our program, Transform Autoimmune, I'm going to have Cora put a link there. You can book a call with us. But for me, one of the things that alumni and any alumni, I would love feedback on this is, how do you think being in our program and working with me has changed your relationship with food? And how have you used food to heal your body? It's just an incredible, versatile, powerful, fun, delicious tool to be able to use. And literally that's 1% of what we do in the program. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Whoa, Diane said, oh, Diane's in our program right now. The program brought back my joy to cook again. Yeah, how fun is it to be in the kitchen cooking, right? And Monica just actually shot a video where she, for the first time in, I don't know, how many years was it? She was able to cook in the kitchen without leaning on her counters, literally standing free cooking, right? So not only is she cooking again, she has less pain or no pain, and she's able to cook again and share that joy of cooking and her food with her family. I love that. Monica, I've been loving your post and your post of you standing in the kitchen. I love it, okay? All right, I hope that was... Corina says, the program showed me that there's a lot of food I can't eat. I know, right? So many of you guys, the holiday struggle was around what? I can only eat 3 foods, or I'm scared of this food or that food. This is why food mapping is huge, right? So for me, when I look at the variety of vegetables and food and herbs and spices I have here, the reason I can cook confidently with it is because I have my data. We have a unique process that we only do called food mapping, where using your blood, we actually show you exactly which foods you do need to eliminate, but what about all the hundreds you can add back? I think that's the key, is a lot of people think it's about more and more elimination, and I call that bullshit. I am not about deprivation, elimination, or nutritional depletion. So in order to actually really heal your body, having that data is really helpful, so you can actually safely, confidently add foods back into your diet. I love that. Thank you, Karina. All right, everybody. I hope that was super helpful. Amanda said the program gave me food freedom. Thank you. Jennifer says, alumni changed my life, food mapping. Thank you, Jennifer. And then Monica says, completely given a happy perspective. Yes, and I see Monica, I see your joy in your kitchen. And Monica's doing yoga now too. Kelly, alumni, I love that. I'm a year out and still continuing to add new foods. Oh, Kelly, I'm so glad to see you. You made sauteed beet greens. Oh my gosh, see, that's the thing is, why are people dumping all these beet greens? It's delicious. This is vegetables right here for your soup and saute. So you're not just paying for the beets, you got some greens. Oh, Kelly, you actually listened to me. I love it. Okay. And Monica says, love to eat all goodness you help to unlock. Thanks, Maggie. I love it. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed Foodie MD live from the kitchen. I hope that helped de-stress some of your holidays, and I hope that some of the tips and tricks that I talked about today was helpful, and I hope you guys have. I know a lot of things are coming up. It is a stressful time, but at the same time, I would love to see those of you who are starting, if you're gonna make a tray bake, I'd love for you to post some pictures or a short video taste test if you want to into the main group. If you can do that, that would be great. I'd love to see you guys actually, those of you making my quiche, making my recipes, if you can anytime you do, make a quick video or actually do a, take a picture and tell me what your experience was and tell me your taste test. I'd love it. All right, everybody, that was it. Have a great day and enjoy the holidays that are coming up. Bye, everybody.